Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Superman and Lois Season 1 review series. And today I am going to be talking about Episode 6, Broken Trust, which I have just finished watching earlier. And once again, this show has delivered yet another fantastic episode. I absolutely enjoyed it from start to finish. The action was incredible, the story was well written. Everything about it was just top notch from start to finish. And what I love about this show is it embraces everything that we know and love about Superman, but still keeping everything fresh and up to date. And Tyler Hoechlin, in my opinion, he's just knocking it straight out of the park as both Clark Kent and Superman. Elizabeth Bitsy Tulloch is just incredible as Lois Lane, and she's well and truly on her way to becoming a definitive Lois Lane in her own right. And it's just been incredible. It's just been absolutely incredible. I will still go on record to say that Superman and Lois is the best show in the Arrowverse so far. And if they keep it up with top quality episodes like this, then they could well and truly be on their way to becoming the best show ever in the Arrowverse. So I'll just give a quick recap of what's happened so far, and then we'll get straight into talking about episode 6. So we learned so far about the mysterious Captain Luthor. He's from another Earth where a Superman from his Earth wiped out all of his men, including his General Sam Lane, and he's basically come to this Earth looking for Superman to try and stop him from what his Superman did to his world. And he's befriended Lois Lane and going under a fake name, Marcus, and saying that he's a reporter and things like that. So that side of the story has been quite good, and Lois Lane is still on her one-person mission to bring down Morgan Edge and prove once and for all that he is not who he says he is. So this has been top-notch stuff, and this episode pretty much picks up where we left off at the end of episode 5. So with that all said, let's get right into it. Let's talk about episode 6, Broken Trust. So we begin this episode with Tag attacking Jordan, just like the way we ended episode 5, demanding what Jordan did to him. Still refusing to answer, Jordan instead uses his signal device to call his dad, Superman, who arrives, scaring Tag off. And Tag has super speed and invulnerability and very hard to catch, and Superman goes after him, and when he cuts in front of a train, he nearly crashes it, causing Superman to lose sight of him. And the way Superman saved this train, I couldn't help but get flashes of the Superman Filmation animated series from the 60s, where he stops the train, where you have the intro where it says, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, and you see like Superman standing in front of the train tracks and just stops it. You know, that was a really cool moment. I enjoyed that one a lot. Meanwhile, back at home, we see Clark and Lois are worried about what might happen if Tag starts talking to people. Lois asks Clark to keep an eye on the boys while she investigates Morgan Edge. She suspects he might have something to do with this mysterious stranger. At the mines, we see Edge thanks Kyle for his help winning the community over and offers to promote Lana Lang to head of the mine project, using the community's trust in her to keep his forward momentum in town going. Back at Smallville High, we see Sarah tells Jonathan and Jordan that she's going to go to Metropolis to watch their next game. But superhearing seems to be setting in and giving Jordan headaches and making his powers activate. Jonathan wants to tell Clark and get him help, but Jordan asks him to keep it a secret until after the game. Lois heads to Kyle and Lana's house and asks for help getting into the mine to build a case against Edge. Kyle, already upset because Lana got the promotion instead of him getting a job, tears into Lois and threatens her. Lana turns her down much more politely, saying that it's been too hard to watch Smallville die to turn on the first person to seem like they're rebuilding the economy. Back at the Kent's farm, Clark brings the boys under the barn where he brings out a massive tree trunk that he used to punch up, where he was learning to use his powers. He asks Jordan to give it a try, and after one false start, he finally does. Sam calls, telling Clark that Tag has been spotted in Metropolis. Lana is looking for a babysitter for the next night when Kyle is taking her to dinner. Sarah says that she'll skip the football game to watch her little sister so that her mum can celebrate her promotion. Outside her window, we see Tag is spying on her. The next day at the game, Jordan gets called into the game to cover a particularly aggressive linebacker, but Jordan is incapacitated when the whistle blows and collapses, missing the block, and the quarterback is hurt. Jonathan talks his way into replacing the quarterback, and when the linebacker talks trash to Jonathan, Jordan knocks him out. At the Kent farm, Lois is surprised by a knock on the door. It's Captain Luther, inviting her to come with him to inspect the mines. She is skeptical at first, but he convinces her that being a lone man would look suspicious, which is why he invited her. They talk their way into the mine, but the guy at the gate seems very suspicious. Back at home, Sarah answers the door thinking it's the pizza guy, but instead it's Tag who has a super speed freak out. When she tries to close on him, he runs inside. After Smallville wins the football game, some of the Metropolis players attack Jordan. Unable to keep his powers in check, he has to unleash his heat vision into Clark's hand with nobody looking. Back at home after dinner, Lana and Kyle are talking about the logistics of her new job. He tells her that he is proud of her, even if he's a little stung by Edge. The two of them start kissing, and Sophia appears out of nowhere to ask about dessert. When Kyle goes looking for Sarah, she's gone. At a hotel in Metropolis, Clark lectures Jordan about how dangerous the situation was at the football game. Jordan starts saying that there were no symptoms, but Jonathan chimes in to tell Clark the truth. Jordan and Clark have a massive argument, and Clark gets a call from Lana revealing that Sarah is missing about, and Nanny calls Tag at the door. In the mine, Lois and Captain Luther are peeking around with him, guiding their path based on some plans that he has spied on in their computers. Pulling out a laser saw, he starts cutting into the wall. In a creepy hideout somewhere, Sarah wakes up to realise that she's been kidnapped by Tag. He reveals that he has super speed and brought her to Metropolis, and he says that Jordan has something to do with him having powers. In the mines, Lois is starting to suspect Captain Luther's story, but before she can come to any conclusions, he finds a chunk of Kryptonite X in the walls. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with Kryptonite X was kind of like a kryptonite crystal of all of the kryptonite rocks fused into one, and it was shown very briefly back in the comic books back in the 50s. So I thought that was kind of cool that they actually introduced it into the show here. So I'm wondering how Kryptonite X is going to be played out in the next couple of episodes. Before they can get out, Leslie Law shows up and tries to blast them with her heat vision. At the hotel, the team comes to the Kent's room and peer pressures them into coming out to a corner store for beer. In the mines, Captain Luther assembles a weapon and blasts Leslie with it, incapacitating her long enough for him and Lois to escape. Outside Metropolis, Superman zeroes in on Tag and Sarah with his super hearing before he gets there. Now, this was kind of cool because when you see Superman floating up in the air, listening to everything going on around him, it reminded me a lot of Superman Returns, where Brandon Routh's Superman was just listening to everything going on around him. So I thought that was kind of a nice little homage to that moment. Tag shows Sarah the video of the bonfire, telling her she thinks he has powers and that he's responsible for what happened to Tag. Superman arrives in the room, telling Tag not to run. Elsewhere in the city, the Metropolis team shows up to harass the Smallville team with Cutter, harassing Jordan in particular. As the DEO arrives to try and take out Tag, Superman steps in front of the bullets but takes a shot of kryptonite from the shards. Jonathan steps in front of Jordan to stop him from hurting Cutter but breaks his wrist while blocking Jordan's punch. Ow! Surprised his hand didn't fly off. After Superman throws away the kryptonite and incinerates it with his heat vision, he convinces the soldiers to stand down. Now, this was a real badass moment because you could see his eyes glowing with the heat vision and very angrily goes up to the soldiers, stand down. And that's what I always like about Superman. He's the ultimate good guy, but not someone you want to get on the wrong side of. So I'm glad they kept that balance in the show. They then load Tag into the back of the truck. Clark confronts Sam about using live rounds and kryptonite against the kid, but has to fly off when he hears Jordan saying that Jonathan is hurt. Outside the mines, Lois confronts Captain Luther, demanding to know why he's lying about so many things, but gets a call from Clark and has to drive home. There, Jonathan is pissed because Jordan broke his arm and the doctor isn't sure that he will gain full range of his arm. He tells Jordan that he knows this was an accident, but that isn't the point. Clark admits that he does get tempted to use his powers irresponsibly too, but he has learned how to keep his anger and his powers in check. He also goes on to explain that overcoming the fears that everyday people had was a long journey, and he had to be so good that they knew they could trust him. And each time he uses his powers, that trust is being tested. Great scene from Tyler Hoechlin, and it's kind of true in a way, because when you have someone as powerful as Superman, you could be very concerned, what could he do if he went out of control? And he's absolutely right. Each and every time Superman uses his powers, that trust is being tested, because there is a possibility that Superman could go out of control. The boys leave the room and Lois tells Clark about what's happened at the mines. Now she has to dig into her supposed reporter friend as well as Edge. The next morning, Sarah tells Jordan that she was scared but knew Tag would never hurt her. She said he was really focused on Jordan and tells him about the video. Jordan tells her that he doesn't know why Tag would think that, and she tells him that he could tell her even if there was something up. Inside their house, Lana tells Lois that she is willing to help find out whether Edge is up to something dangerous or illegal, but they must not tell Kyle. Yeah, this was kind of cool, seeing Lois and Lana working together, which is something we don't really see very often in Superman media, but it's nice we got it here. After they leave, Lois tries to console Jordan with ice cream, but he's disobedient that he doesn't know what to do. He's racked with guilt over hurting Jonathan and over lying to Sarah about his powers. He tells her that her powers are driving a wedge between him and other people and that he wants it to end. All of a sudden, Jordan collapses and starts to have a serious headache. Clark arrives at super speed, scans Jordan's head and says, "I'm taking him to the fortress," and flies off at super speed. And that's how episode 6 ends, and that wraps up my review. Like I said at the beginning, excellent episode. Really enjoyed this one a lot. And, as I said, even though we're only 6 episodes into the show, they're just doing a stand-up great job and just knocking it out of the park each and every time. And so far, I haven't seen one bad episode yet. I've really enjoyed this one a lot, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens next. So with that all said, I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you think of episode 6? Did you enjoy it? Do you think Lois will eventually learn about this mysterious stranger? Will she learn that he's really Captain Luther from another Earth? And also, what about this Kryptonite X that he's found? How do you think that will come into play? And Lana and Lois working together, do you think they will find out what Morgan Edge is really up to? And also, do you think Clark will get to the fortress in time and save his son? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Superman and Lois Season 1 review series, where I'll be talking about Episode 7, which I am very much looking forward to talking about. So until next time, take care everybody, and stay safe, and once again, thanks for listening.